Kilims are flat, tapestry-woven carpets or rugs produced from the Balkans to Pakistan. Kilims can be purely decorative or can function as prayer rugs. Modern kilims are popular floor coverings in Western households. Etymology: the term kilim originates from the Persian gelīm, where it means to spread roughly, perhaps of Mongolian origin. The Turkish name is Kilim. Kurdish has its own name. History: like pile carpets, kilim have been produced since ancient times. The explorer Mark Orelstein found kilims dating to at least the 4th or 5th century CE in Hotan, China. As kilims are much less durable than rugs that have a pile to protect the warp and weft, it is not surprising that few of great age remain. The weave is almost identical with that of modern kilims, and has about 14 threads of warp and 16 threads of weft to the inch. The pattern consists of narrow stripes of blue, green, brownish yellow, and red, containing very small geometric designs. With this one exception, so peculiarly preserved, there are probably very few over a century-old weaving technique. Kilims are produced by tightly interweaving the warp and weft strands of the weave to produce a flat surface with no pile. Kilim weaves are tapestry weaves, technically weft-faced plain weaves, that is, the horizontal weft strands are pulled tightly downward so that they hide the vertical warp strands. When the end of a color boundary is reached, the weft yarn is wound back from the boundary point. Thus, if the boundary of a field is a straight vertical line, a vertical slit forms between the two different color areas where they meet. For this reason, most kilims can be classed as slit-woven textiles. The slits are beloved by collectors, as they produce very sharp etched designs, emphasizing the geometry of the weave. Weaving strategies for avoiding slit formation, such as interlocking, produce a more blurred design image. The weft strands, which carry the visible design and color, are almost always wool, whereas the hidden warp strands can be either wool or cotton. The warp strands are only visible at the ends, where they emerge as the fringe. This fringe is usually tied in bunches, to ensure against loosening or unraveling of the weave. Designs: Ardabal rugs feature motifs that are very similar to Caucasian rugs, but with more motifs and objects woven into the borders. The colors are also lighter. The patterns are predominantly geometric, and the most common layouts on Ardabal rugs are medallions, multiple connected diamond-shaped medallions, and all-over octagonal shapes. The most recognized design found on Ardabal rugs is the famous Mai design, a diamond medallion and small fish throughout. Another widely used motif is the Alibalinda, a stylized female figure. Some modern weavers have begun to favor bold geometric patterns over the traditional Mai design and have added colors such as turquoise and purple to the more traditional red, pink, ivory, green, and blue. Commercial value: because kilims are often cheaper than pile rugs, beginning carpet collectors often start with them. Despite what many perceive as their secondary status to pile carpets, kilims have become increasingly collectible in themselves in recent years, with quality pieces now commanding high prices. What some sensed his inferiority was actually a different nature of rugs woven for indigenous use as opposed to rugs woven on a strictly commercial basis. Because kilims were not a major export commodity, there were no foreign market pressures changing the designs, as happened with pile carpets. Once collectors began to value authentic village weaving, kilims became popular. Now, many kilims are woven for export. Types: Persian ordinary kilims. This type of kilim is woven with hemp, cotton and also wool threads. Gunny kilim. This special type is woven with vari-colored pieces of cloth. Suzani kilim. This type is embroidered with raised figures after the ordinary kilim is woven. Needlework kilim. This type of kilim is hung on the wall and is woven with cotton threads. Jol. This is a kind of kilim the surface of which is embroidered. With their decorative designs, they are used as horse saddles. Palace. This is a kind of kilim in which each color is used for weaving several RAJs. It does not have a pile. Palis is also the name used for the coarse woolen robes dervish wear, gelīm or chador, shab. This is a kind of striped carpet woven with colored threads and thinner than palis. Zulu. This is a kind of kilim woven with cotton threads and simple designs quite in harmony with rural life. It has a cotton warp and weft. Rakti carb pick. This type of kilim is used by migrating tribes. Chaki baf kilim. This is a kind of sturdy and thick kilim, only one side of which can be used. Cordan and duals. These kilims are used for carrying goods. Gelīm chair. These are woven like kilims but tiny and decorative. Masnads. These are sturdy and fine woven decorative kilimchis. Nava chador. This type of kilim is decorative. Sajade. These are woven with altar designs and are used for praying. Guy. This kilim is used for the walls of tents. Both of its sides are the same and can be used alike. Rara. These kilims are woven mostly in the Serjan region and are also called Kati design kilims. Ardabil and Muin are woven in the same design but in lower qualities. Kamu sore. These sofras are woven mostly in Kamu and are also called natural design sofras. Balkans and Eastern Europe. Bosnian kilim of Bosnia. Pirot kilim of Serbia. Chiprovsky kilim of Bulgaria. Kotlansky kilim of Bulgaria. Polish kilim of Poland. Minorial kilim of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Ukrainian kilim of Ukraine. Anatolian, perhaps the best known and most highly regarded. These kilims are traditionally distinguished by the areas, villages or cities in which they are produced, such as Konya, Malatya, Karapina and Hotames. Most Anatolian kilims are slit woven. Larger antique kilims were woven in 2 to 3 separate sections on small nomadic horizontal floor looms in 3 feet wide long strips, then carefully sewn together matching the pattern's edges to create an ultimately wider rug. These pieces are still being produced in very limited quantities by nomadic tribes for their personal use and are commonly known as sisams. Sisam or gelīm or gelīm. Kilims woven in narrow strips that are sewn together.